What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trey Sense here. You guessed it, I got a little bit of a cologne review. You have to bear with me because my voice is doing a little something funny today, but we're going to bang this out anyway. Now, as you saw from the title description, this is my top 5 fragrances for life, sort of, because I couldn't really narrow it down to 5. I chose 5 because I just wanted to do 5 as opposed to 10, but it actually turned out being 10 fragrances anyway, but it was easier for me to rank 5 than it was 10. So I have 5, 2 are a tie, and then 3 honorable mentions. So, yeah. Anyway, but I have 5 spots. Anyway, let's get to the honorable mentions. Let's get this thing started. First honorable mention is, and don't you dare laugh, is Techno Body Spray. I have probably gotten more compliments off of this juice than I have any other fragrance that I've ever worn. And you can't find this in stores anymore. You can only get this online. But this was my signature scent for a long time. And I had other fragrances, but I worked in convenience stores, But I worked in convenience stores, and I didn't want to wear my good stuff to work. So I always wore stuff like this. And it worked. It just worked. It's one of those, again, that gets in the air, and it just smells good. It smells better walking by than it does off of your skin, if that makes any sense. That's the first honorable mention, Techno Body Spray. The second honorable mention just happens to be made by the same company, Parfums Decor, and it is Raw Power. And this is a direct clone of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, and honestly, it is very, very close. And I used to get compliments galore off of this. This has sentimental value to me because this is actually what I would wear with my wife when I first started dating. She was finishing college. I was busy. We both had a lot going on. So a lot of times we would just meet in a park somewhere and just talk. So I would have this on. And I might have on a t-shirt and some ball shorts or some track pants or whatever, just nothing dressed up. So that's where these came in handy. And she loved it. As a matter of fact, to this day, if I spray on something that remotely resembles that, she stops dead in her tracks and going, "What are you wearing? You got that stuff on you used to wear when we were dating." And it was just a $4 or $5 can of body spray. But it worked. Again, these are not fragrances that, you'd be like, "Oh my gosh." But what they are is fragrances that you spray on yourself, and then you walk by people, or people get a whiff of you, or the wind picks it up, and it's like, "Man, that smells good. What is that?" And they never believe that you're wearing something that's cheap. This has doubled in price, so it's now like $16 to $17, but still, it's still worth it to me. I'll always have that in my collection for nostalgia purposes. Last honorable mention, and it just happens to be the first fragrance my wife bought me. And to me, this is a great scent. I absolutely love it, especially on a cold fall day or a cold winter's day, and that is Versace Dreamer. First fragrance she bought me, Versace Dreamer. So there's a little bit of nostalgia with the honorable mentions. Or actually with all of them. All right, y'all ready? Let's do it. Let's get into the top 5. At number 5, the first tie. And these 2 fragrances, nothing says the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s like Jupe and Cool Waters. In the South, we say Jupe. I'm sure it's probably pronounced Oop, but there's a J, we pronounce it. Jupe and Cool Water. Nothing else to say about these. The reason that I picked these 2, one, I absolutely love this smell. People say it's generic or whatever. I like it, and this is one of the best performing fragrances that I have. 3-4 hours of projection, 6 to 10 hours of longevity, and if it gets on your clothes, you're looking at days of longevity. Cool Waters, because to me this is one of the most underrated fragrances of all time. It is, a lot of people say they copied Green Irish Tweed or whatever. All I know is Snoop Dogg rapped about having his Johnson baby powders and his Cool Waters cologne, and he was too late. I was already rocking the Cool Water cologne. But this is just, to me, a polarizing fragrance that has stood the test of time and will always stand the test of time, and it smells good. And on top of that, it's readily available. The price is not going to go up. It's not going to be discontinued. It's not going to turn into a fragrance that's $400 because they stopped making it. You can get it anywhere. You can walk in any drugstore, any Rite Aid, CVC, CVS, Walgreens, whatever, and pick this up. And it's going to be there, and it's going to be reasonably priced. And it smells good. So what more could you ask for? At number 5, Joop and Cool Waters. All right. Number 4, not 3, 4 on my list. Again, it's a tie. This is the last tie. But these are two very polarizing fragrances for two different reasons. Fahrenheit by Christian Dior and Original Burberry. Burberry for men. This one is just, to me, a great smelling fragrance in the summertime. The sweetness is just sweet. To me, this is the king of gourmands. The beginning. This is the gourmand that started it all. Sweet, 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 long-lasting, powerful fragrance. And this little stanky thing right here, Christian Dior's Fahrenheit, again, takes me back to the 90s and the 2000s. Just a good smelling fragrance. Not so readily available, but at the time it was. You could pick this up anywhere. I absolutely love it. I think it's going to be around forever if you can get your hands on it. Just a polarizing fragrance. And again, this one just takes me back to a time period where life was just simple. You know, like I've always loved hip hop. This takes me back to when hip hop, you know, the last days of it, when it was still raw and fresh and original, before all this mumble rap and trapper rapper and all this stuff they got going on now. This takes me back to just a different time period, the early 2000s. I love it. It smells good. And I'm like Ludacris. I'm going to leave the booth smelling like Burberry cologne. All right, that's the last tie. Number 3 on my list. Yes, 3 is Blada Serini Delmore. This one because it just smells good. And I like it because it's unique and you don't hear a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people have never smelled this one, but honestly, this juice is amazing. What you have with this one is an aquatic musk, a smooth, cool, aquatic musk, and it is a compliment monster. I mean, this is one that people will stop you. Hey, what are you wearing? What is that? That smells amazing. It just works well for me. I can't speak for anybody else. It works well off my skin. And again, it's not hard to find. As a matter of fact, I think I got this on clearance at TJ Maxx for like $10, but I've had it for years, and you see I've went through that bottle. I don't wear it much anymore because I'm about out, and I don't want to order anymore, so I saved that bottle. But Delmore by Blada Serini / Hugo Boss, easily one of my favorite scents of all time. I absolutely love it, hands down. That's my number 3. I'm going to show you one more time in case you didn't know. Delmore by Blada Serini, which is Hugo Boss. All right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. The number 2 spot. The number 2 spot in my top 5 of my 5 colognes for life, if I had to just pick 5, would be Dolce & Gabbana The One. This is number 2. And the reason that this is number 2, I haven't had it long, but I think this is going to turn into what this did. I think Dolce & Gabbana The One is eventually going to be a fragrance that you can pick up anywhere, anytime, any place, years from now. I think 20 years from now, people will still be going crazy over this because it's just a polarizing fragrance. It's a polarizing fragrance. It just smells good. Okay, so the performance on it isn't the best. So what? Who cares? The way it smells, I don't care. I will respray that joker every hour if I have to. It just smells good. And it's very polarizing. There's fragrances that smell similar and give you the same vibe, but it's not really anything out there that smells like this. You know, my wife likes it. It's a crowd pleaser. It's a woman pleaser. It's a compliment getter. It's everything. It's affordable. It's just a well-rounded, solid fragrance. You have to have that in your top 5. It's just no way around it. Number 1 in my top 5 or 10 list of... Number 1 in my top 5 list of 10 fragrances. Go figure. Number 1 is a Southern classic, just like fried chicken and sweet tea and ice water. Azzaro's Chrome. This is a Southern classic, and I like this fragrance because it smells good, and more importantly, it is a show-stopping performer. Again, this is one of those that when it gets in the air, it smells tremendous. It smells amazing. The thing I like the most about this is I get 3.5, almost 4 hours of projection, 8 to 10 hours of longevity, and if I should spray it on my clothes, it stays on there for days. It stays on there for days, and that to me sums it up. I mean, that to me just does it. It's a good smelling cologne that performs well in this Alabama heat. And if you've never lived in the South, you don't understand what the heat and the sun does to fragrances. Not only do we have the heat and the sun, we have this thick humidity that is hard on fragrances. There's nothing else to say about it. It heats up your body temperature. Once your body temperature heats up, your fragrance starts to evaporate faster. It's just science. It's not a mystery. It's not a whole lot you can do about it. You walk outside and it's 90, 91 degrees, and then the humidity is making it feel like you've stuck your head in an oven or walked into a room, a paint booth or something. I mean, it's just hot. There's not a lot of fragrances that stand up well to that. But this one does, and it smells good, and it's a little bit quality. It's a little bit metallic-y, but I like it. It's a very manly fragrance in my opinion. I like it. All right, that has been my top 5. All right, one last time recap. Attired number 4, Cool Waters and Jupe. At number 5, I'm sorry. Attired number 4, Burberry and Christian Dior's Fahrenheit. Number 3, Blada Serini Del Mar by Hugo Boss. Number 2, Dolce & Gabbana The One, EDT, not EDP. And at number 1, Chrome by Azzaro. Azzaro Chrome. All right, guys, that has been my top 5 fragrances for life, the Trace Scents edition. If you have a top 5, hey, let me know below. What would be your top 5? What you rocking with, You know the drill. Like, share, and subscribe. If you have any familiarity with any of these fragrances, let me know, and we can talk about them in the comments below. I hope everybody's having a good day, a good Tuesday, good work week, being safe out there. Again, we're almost at 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 91 and 92. Help your boy get to that 100 so we can do this little giveaway and I can give somebody a bottle of cologne or something, man. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. I've enjoyed these videos and I've enjoyed doing them. I hope you guys have enjoyed them as much as I've enjoyed doing them. All right, guys, I'm going to get off of here. Hope everybody's having a good day. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Peace.